What's good, nice again? Welcome back to my channel. For a new viewer, what's good? Make sure that thumbs up, subscribe, and be proud of nice gang, because nice gang is best gang, all gangs, period. Today's video is a get ready with me because I haven't done one in a really long time and I was in my feelings all day. Listen to me vent and let me know if you like this video and you want more videos like this. I think it's time to start getting more vulnerable with you guys. Nice again, welcome back to my channel. Whew, child, it has been a minute since I've given y'all a get ready with me. I did not want to do this at all. I've been in my feelings all day. I planned the whole day to a T. I had so much stuff to do and I could not leave the bed today. It was like I was compelled to stay in the bed and scroll, and I don't even do that for real. I'm not even a scroller. Social media is so addicting. Unless I get caught up while I am posting a video or something, then I'll completely forget what I was doing and I'll just scroll. Today I was on conspiracy theory TikTok, but I just felt so sad today, and I checked my horoscope and it was talking about how I'll be emotional and how that could be my downfall and stuff like that. So as soon as I seen that, I had a pep talk with myself and I counted down from 3 and I said, we got this. I got up and now I'm getting myself together even though I have nothing to do. But I kept crying, and the best way to not cry is to do your makeup really good. You're not gonna want to mess it up. And honestly, I'm already feeling a little bit better, but I was dreading setting up the camera, pulling out my makeup, and I'm like, what am I gonna talk about? I don't even know. But a big reason why my fan base is so strong and loyal is because one of my beginning niches, what I used to do before, was do get ready with me's, and I would talk and I would do story times that people could relate to. My skin is breaking out so bad lately. It's never been this bad and I'm not sure what it is. I see a dermatologist next week, so we're about to get to the bottom of this because it's really messing with my confidence. But what I was gonna say is that the more you make yourself vulnerable to social media and the bigger that you get, or even before you're even big, like the anxiety from not knowing how people are gonna take your content, or if they're gonna agree, or if you are gonna sound like you're just speaking jibber jabber, is intense. That would stop me from talking. I would be like, how are people so confident when they talk? When other people talk, it sounds so good and they make sense, but I feel like when I talk, it's just jibber jabber. Like, what if I don't know what I'm talking about, you know? And when I started doing it, it just felt good. Like, I couldn't believe how many people could relate to me, how many of us were living a very similar life, and it kind of changed my brain chemistry, just being on social media in general. I wasn't allowed to be on the internet or have social media as a kid. I started pretty late, and I'm kind of grateful for that because there's a lot of stuff on the internet and it can really tear down your self-confidence. And you know, as a young kid, you just got put into this world, so you're kind of observing others and just kind of like copying what they're doing. So you know, as a teenager, you just be doing whatever, thinking you know it all. So I'm kind of glad that I wasn't on social media, because now I just feel like I love to be alone. And as a teenager and even young adult, I used to be like, I will never want to live alone. Like, I don't want to be alone. I'm terrified because I'm scared of the dark. Even to this day, when I got to finally live alone and then co-lived again, it was horrible. To say the least, it was horrible. That's when I realized me being alone, I literally thrive. It's so good for my mental health, and all my thoughts are mine, not Christy thoughts and beliefs and systems, not James_25. It's just mine, and I love that. I realized that I'm somebody who needs a lot of alone time to be able to function. I believe that I cipher people's energy. That kind of sounds bad, but like, I just feel like I absorb that. There we go. I feel like I absorb other people's energy, and to be honest, a lot of people don't have good energy, and that puts me in a bad mood. I feel other people's like emotions when they're going through stuff. I'm empathetic, not sympathetic, and it will take a toll on me. I like to help people. I like to go out of my way, but I told myself 2026 I wasn't gonna do that. I was gonna take a step back and focus on myself the same way that I will help and focus on others. It's been a battle, to say the least. It has been such a battle. I am so irritated with myself that I allow other people to affect my emotions the way that I do. I'm getting teary-eyed right now, which is so annoying. I'm so annoyed with myself because that has never been me. Like, I feel like maybe I'm absorbed I have absorbed other people's like feelings and methods, or I don't know what it is. Actually, I have an idea and we're gonna talk about it. I don't know if I'm sounding crazy or not, or if I'm making sense, but just vibe with me, okay? When I used to do story times, people used to be like, how are you telling us these stories with a straight face? Like, I would be bawling or I would be choked up or something, and I would be like, I mean, I guess I get it, but like, that was so long ago. That doesn't choke me up. Like, I didn't even know it was that bad until you guys told me it was that bad, because again, I wasn't on social media. Growing up, I never had anybody to talk to for real. Like, it was just me. My mom was always working. My dad was working, but he would spend the most time with me, and like, he was impulsive, and so like, we would just do like random fun stuff. In my adult life, I'm realizing there could have been some substances there, and that's what caused it. But look, listen, he put the fun in my childhood, but he had left when I was 12, and I hate that they didn't have a conversation with me. But I don't know how that would have played out, because I kind of, it's like I knew he was gone, but like, it didn't really process in my mind for real what was going on. I just knew that he was gone, and then another man came to move in, which was very much uncomfortable and heartbreaking, considering I was sleeping in the bed with my parents, and I went from sleeping with 2 parents to 1. Not gonna lie, it was kind of nice because they both snored, so I only had to deal with 1. And then when my mom was talking to this guy, she wouldn't be in the room, so it would just be me and my cousin at the time sleeping in her bed until she kicked us out because she let this man move in with us. I want to say not even a year after her and my dad broke up, and they were together like 12-13 years, so like, that was a big change for me, you know? But me and her never had like a really strong bond or anything. I wasn't in tune with my feelings or emotions. Like, I would feel things, but I didn't know how to describe it, let alone like, I couldn't speak. Like, I wasn't someone who was like talked to on the regular. If I could describe it, it's kind of like how I feel in my adult life. I feel kind of like an outcast, last resort. I feel like people only talk and speak when they see something that they like that I'm posting about, or they see that I'm living life. When I blew up, all of a sudden everyone's like, oh, you're acting different and this, that, and third. I'm like, what are you talking about? I never even talked to y'all for real. Why y'all want to be all over me? That's so weird to me, and I couldn't put my finger on what it was. I just thought it was so weird, to the point where I'm not gonna lie, I got gaslit. I'm thinking, am I the problem? But now I realize that's them projecting, and I would hear it, and I knew about that, but like, I didn't know. Like, I didn't really know about that. Me talking is gonna be all over the place. I'm just like dumping on y'all. Feel free to let me know if you guys can relate to anything that I'm saying. But, and also, the relationship that I was in, my partner made it very clear that they didn't want anybody knowing about anything that was going on in our relationship, and that was so manipulative. But I was like, oh, I mean, makes sense. Like, they were like, oh, because once you start adding people, that's where it gets messy and this, that, the third. And I was like, okay, like, sure thing, like, that's not gonna be a problem, because I genuinely didn't talk to anybody. But the things that I was going through was not okay, and I probably should have been talking to people, but the people that I was talking to didn't seem to care anyways. I would tell my older sister the things that I would go through, and she'd be like, oh my god, that's crazy, but not do anything. And like, me being me and me being older, I just don't understand how people can do that, especially people that are supposed to be your blood. Like, I was raised like, okay, it doesn't matter, your mom is your mom, your dad is your dad, blood is blood. I can't agree with that. I don't think it's okay, because I'm not gonna keep allowing, what do you mean I have to keep allowing the same person to hurt me in the same or different ways? I don't know. My brain chemistry changed so hard when I would hang out with people, right? Ignore my dirty sponge. I had so many friends and my family, or just like strangers, anybody. I had so many people tell me to my face repetitively how good of a person I am, and how I'm the best partner, how I'm the best friend, how I'm just the best person, and I'm the sweetest soul. To which I'm like, oh, stop. Like, I already know that. But the moment somebody with higher status than me, when somebody with more money than me, somebody prettier than me comes in the room, I'm forgotten. I'm pushed to the side. I'm the second, third, fourth last option. And then they come back when they don't have those people anymore, when those people are no longer in their face. It hasn't happened once, it hasn't happened twice, but even then, I was still the nice, kind person that I am. I can get really cold. My high school friend labeled me the ice princess, because I can go from loving you so much to acting like I never even met you. It really is out of sight, out of mind for me. And for a while, I let people make me feel bad about that. I was able to, like, if you piss me off or something, like, I got stuff to do. I'm still gonna continue with my day. I'm still gonna do what I have to do and what I had planned to do for the day. Not really intentionally, but just because what else am I gonna do? I'm gonna sit here and cry? Like, no. I feel like I detach so fast, and I really think it's just because I didn't really have that love growing up. I didn't really have that one-on-one strong bond. I did with my brother that passed away. I was 18 when he passed away. He was 26. I had it with him, but then I lost it because our mother was feeding him lies and painting this image of me that was false. And since he was locked up, I couldn't like really defend myself. Plus I was a teenager. I was in a relationship. You know, when you're a teenager, you don't really care too much about family, and we had just gone so long without speaking or whatever that like it was whatever. But when he had got out of jail, I was so torn because he had turned into like one of my ops. Like, he was calling me a brat and saying I was disrespectful. The whole time it's because my mother is letting these grown men just sit in her house. What, as a babysitter? I'm not sure, but they for sure wasn't throwing her bread. I was working in the lunchroom in high school. I only got paid like $30 every 2 weeks, and she would want me to pay bills and clean up and stuff when I came home from school, and I just didn't think that that was right because she would have men sleeping in her bed all day. Some wasn't, some was working. The ceilings are leaking. The house looks a mess because she's a hoarder, yet they're always drinking and having parties weekdays and the weekends. Why are you asking me for my $30? Like, I had to get my first phone myself. I had to pay $50 every month. I went to Boost, and then the rest of the money I would like get snacks or whatever from the store. And you're asking me for my money, my little $30, because you're saying that I'm lazy and I'm not doing nothing around the house. I say that to say my own parents failed me. I had to go on an Amber Alert. I had to run away because my dad said because I was on my phone, he shattered my phone because he didn't want me to be on my phone because my mother had put into his head that I was such a bad kid and I only wanted to be talking to the person that I was dating at the time, and I was very disrespectful and I didn't want to listen, and he had been gone for so long doing who knows what. I guess because he didn't pay child support, in my head I'm assuming that he didn't want to be on bad terms with her since I'm still a minor, and he just listened to her and he shattered my phone because I was in my phone even though he was sleeping. Shattered it, took my iPod, and I took it back, and he was like, you're gonna respect me. He was screaming. He was drunk under the influence. He was breaking in the door. He was hitting the door trying to get me to open the door. I was terrified for my life because he did not have a great track record with women. Being a mother now, I refuse Winter, my daughter, to ever have to go through something like that. That is why I refuse to stay in a relationship that was not benefiting me, that was tearing me down more than it was lifting me up. But even when that was happening, I would still, in the name of love, spare people, spare friendships, spare relationships, spare family bonds, because I knew how big my fan base was and how intimidating that is for people. When I started my story times of getting kicked out and moving out, it started such a huge problem back at home with my family, and I was confused because I'm like, all I'm doing is like telling my story. I'm not even like saying names for it. I'm not even going into debt. I haven't even touched the surface. I'm not even saying much, and you guys are going crazy. That is not the reason why I stopped those story times, by the way. If you know, you know. It was because, and I say the same thing over and over, I was still like going through stuff in real time, and I fear I would have gotten like manipulated to leave certain details out that are important and stuff like that. So I wanted to pretty much wait until I felt safe enough to continue it and like be in my own mind and have like, you know, think for myself. Not only that, but when I was in the process of moving, one of my very important journals from a very important time in my life, the journal that went from me being a regular person to like this big creator influencer, that's the one that got stolen and thrown out when my car was stolen in Atlanta, and I was mortified. So there's a good amount of factors, but that being said, you know how there's trends about like people being SA'd or like going through stuff. What I do is lifestyle content, and I also do whatever's trending, and it would really rub people the wrong way. It's one thing for a stranger to comment under your videos. I don't think much of it because you guys don't know me like that. Usually usually the person that's commenting something bad is somebody who doesn't even watch me, doesn't know anything about me, so I'm not gonna take it to heart. But when it's somebody that I love, I'm going to take their opinions to consideration. As time went on, I cannot stand how I feel like I just been raw dogging life with no guidance. Like, I just been doing whatever I feel is right. I just been trying to be a good person, and in the process try to make everybody happy, at least the people that I love happy. I know I can't make everybody happy, but I would try to make the people that I love happy. But I realized it was never enough. Why was it ever enough? Because the people who I'm trying my hardest to make happy don't even appreciate me as a person. They appreciate me. I had to realize, this is when my frontal lobe developed, I had to realize that this is what people are talking about. You get used for what you have, what you can offer, not because of your personality, not because you're a good person. You're just getting used. And I wish I had somebody older in my corner to like kind of let me know, to save me so much heartbreak. I would always be like, oh, nothing's gonna change me, like I'm gonna always be nice. No, I'm always gonna be kind. But I can admit I am messed up about all the people that I spoke so highly of, all the people that I could have sworn not even death would do us part. Like, I watched the people who I would have took a bullet for, that I would have lied under oath for. Okay, let me not say that, but like, you get the point. The people who I would have gone to literal war for, I've watched them switch up on me, and I just feel like I'm at capacity. Like, and it's so frustrating because I sacrifice so much. I don't know if it's a cancer thing, but I'm not gonna even blame it on that. I'm gonna blame it on this is all me. I am just somebody who will sacrifice my time doing what I gotta do because I know that my energy is going for a better cause in that moment. If I feel like my friend is in danger, I'm coming to the rescue. It doesn't matter if I have collabs or whatever set up. That's my problem. I always put my money to the side to be a human, to be kind, to be nice, to be a sweetheart, to be the best friend, to be the best girlfriend, to be the best sister, to be the best daughter. But every time I never got that in return, and when I did, it was a slice, and when I did, it was compromised when another person that was greater in that person's life would come by, if that makes sense. Because like I just said to you guys, I'm always the preferred one. I'm always the best friend. I'm always the sweetheart. I'm always the best person somebody's ever had. But you guys play in my face, constantly getting gossiped about. And I feel like 2025 had them hands, but for the best reason, because I feel like I finally got tunnel vision. And I just need to be alone. People talk bad about isolation. They say it's good until a certain extent. And I am just scared of people, because people will do you in the worst way. And they pose as your friend, and they pose as your family. They hear your story and they find a way to remix it and make it worse. Why is this? Is it because I'm nice and you guys don't think I'm gonna stop talking to you? What did Cardi say? Be careful with me. I'm telling every person when I finally feel comfortable enough to vent to you. I'm telling you how I feel mistreated, and when I feel mistreated, I will ghost somebody like I've never even met them. I'm not gonna lie, as a teenager, I had it bad where I used to just be like, look, you know what you're doing? I'm about to ghost you. I don't care, no notice, nothing. But then I got told that people can't read your mind. Okay, cool. You're right. So it'll make me feel much better to let this person know how I feel before I block them, before I stop talking to them forever. The thing is that it doesn't work. I'm realizing it doesn't work. You know how many times I wrote long paragraphs to the people I care about, letting them know like, hey, I'm reaching my point, I want to fix this, and how those same people will just disregard what I said. It is truly insane. It made me want to look inside of me, because like then you got the people online that are like, if you don't have somebody from childhood as a friend still, you're the problem. If you're constantly falling out with people, you're the problem. But that's such closed-minded way of thinking. I had this debate with one of my homegirls before. I was like, hold on now. For me, for example, I was somebody who moved around a lot. I went to multiple schools. I hated moving because I was always the new girl, and there would be cliques, like people who were together and friends since diapers or since elementary school. Everybody had their person except for me, and I was always extremely shy, so it was really hard for me to make friends. I was never put in any sports, any extracurricular activities until I got to high school. Like I said, I didn't have a social media or nothing. And it doesn't make it any better that when I do start social media, I blow up on social media and like I'm popular. But on the web. And so like I made all my content myself up until I got into a relationship, and even then I was still making my own content. That person was like, hey, like we should go collab with so and so, and I was like, oh, I mean, I guess. And then that's when the collab started to happen. I started to like branch out, start like meeting hairstylists and makeup artists. I was exposed to not only people for the first time outside of my estranged family, exposed to fame. Me as a new, young, genuine soul, I'm not realizing that a lot of these people are using me. I'm not even knowing how famous I am. I'm not even realizing how much weight my name held. I'm just helping, tagging people, putting people on just because I'm not even realizing that a lot of this stuff is a facade. So a lot of the things that I learned in my 20s, I feel like I just got so much information from social media and from people in real life, and like we're all just young, we're all just trying to do the best we can do, but a lot of people make assumptions and try to clock it based on like their experiences with people and what they believe to be true and stuff. But I just think it's so important now to listen, but take and apply what resonates and leave what does not. I realize that I'm not gonna be majority of people's cup of tea, because I am always going to force people to be accountable. I am somebody who sets a mirror in front of people because I am going to encourage you to be the best version of yourself. I'm not even a confrontational person. I won't even say anything to somebody unless I feel like we have a bond and we're comfortable. I'll read you and see like, do you like constructive criticism? No, yes, no, maybe so. I move based on like what I feel like you can tolerate or what I feel like I can say. Majority of the time I don't even say anything. I feel like people look how I move and watch how I carry myself, and they look at it as a threat. People would say this to me like, oh my god, you look intimidating, or they were intimidated by you, and I'm like, no way. But it's true. People get so intimidated by me, and I was just always like, bro, I'm the nicest person you could meet. I love to talk. I can't stop talking once I get comfortable with you. I'll tell you my whole life story. But some people really get threatened by that. They get threatened by me just doing what I gotta do. I realize a lot of people don't have the work ethic I do, and I would always tell myself, oh, I'm so lazy, this, that, the third. Like, I got lucky that I got famous, because now all I gotta do is sit in front of a camera and just like do whatever I was gonna do anyways, and like it just worked out for me. Like, it was such an alignment. But I do have a lot of work ethic. I've been in the faces of so many successful influencers and celebrities, rappers and stuff, to know that some of this is luck, but a lot of it is actually just showing up every day. I've seen people wake up so early at the ass crack of dawn to get a video in, get multiple videos in, film it on their phone, edit it on their phone while we're on the way to like dinner with like all the influencers, or on the way to make another video. Like, I've seen so many people grind, and I admire that, and I applied that, and I realized that I do the best work, I am most productive when I'm alone. I'm tired of the input. There's so many people that try to give me advice, and it's like, I will never listen to you. I will never take advice from you. Look where it's gotten you. And it's so crazy because so many people that are not even qualified to give me any kind of input, especially on certain topics. I'm trying to figure out, am I just an easy person to talk to? People tell me that all the time. But it's also giving, they think that I'm boo-boo the fool. Like, I feel like people think because I'm nice, I'm such an airhead, because I give advice, I don't know what I'm talking about, because I'm pretty, I don't know, struggle. Is what I'm saying making sense? Because it kind of sounds like it's making sense, but then it kind of doesn't. And I know I'm rambling. I recently got my hair cut, and I don't like the cuts at all, so my homegirl did my hair for me so that I could start feeling more confident and comfortable, and this does make me feel more comfortable. I mixed 2 different hairs a bunch of times until my hands got tired, and so this is what we got. But yeah, I feel so much better. I'm so glad that I did my makeup and I got ready and I vented with you guys, because I had so much on my heart. I have so much more to say, but we're gonna leave that for another video. Let me know if you guys like videos like this, me getting vulnerable with you guys, getting ready with you guys, because I've been so low-key and secretive, and I don't want to be like that anymore. I just been a little intimidated by the media. I've been taking in so much content and personalities and everything. I got in kind of overwhelmed with all all the content online, and now people are streaming and stuff, and I'm trying to figure out what it is I want to do. But honestly, I should have never switched up on y'all. Like, YouTube is my heart. YouTube is where my family started, and I want to get back to that. Honestly, YouTube, the YouTube platform in general, it's the most loyal and more reliable than all the other apps. So I'm gonna do my best to try to post on here often, because I really do miss YouTube. I don't miss the editing. I cannot wait until I find a trusted editor so that I could focus more on talking to you guys and like the happiness versus like feeling like it's such a job, because it does take me between 2 to like 14 consecutive hours to edit content, and so when it doesn't perform well, I feel so horrible. But yeah, let me know, give it a thumbs up. Look at my cute Valentine's Day nails, like yes. Oh, I gotta still take this off, it's fine. I'm gonna take it off and I'll probably do a thumbnail after. But thanks for listening to me rant. I love you, Nessa Gang. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.
Don't leave your girl around me, true player for real. That's my nigga for real. Let him know. Situations will arise.